Well, hello, my wonderful broskies and broskies. Um, my beautiful broskies and broskies of the Maverick Nation. Sorry, I just, frick, my, ow, ow, ow. I just woke up. Apparently, I decided to wake up half past noon. I didn't even get to enjoy breakfast. I woke up half past noon. And so all of the other videos that are part of the storyline number 2 are, yeah, they are pre-recorded. All of the ones after the first one are pre-recorded, so they will have already been recorded and, just be sitting stagnant. And all my other videos will just be me doing my regular thing. I decided to bulk record, I guess, prepare, because, as George R.R. Martin likes to remind us, he very often tends to remind us, winter is coming. Dude, we're already in it. We're in the middle of, I believe, March. That's where they got those shamrock shakes. I love me a good shamrock shake. Anyways, anywho, yabba dabba doo. Anyways, about that, I got a specific notepad pulled up because it's that time again. You better catching them all. You better be catching them all. I'm not really prepared for this. There, now I'm some level of prepared. No, this just feels awkward. I'll just let you guys know it's off to the side. Ash Ketchum hat. Uh, it might actually be confusing for you guys, seeing as I'm wearing a little piece of what some people will call bleach merch while I'm doing a Pokemon related video. Because Noya Tora Gilga, Espada number 5, Espada numero 5. Mm. Well, it's just, the series needs to continue. And I really hate myself for slugging on with the Ultraman series, not doing what I should have done, and just gritting my teeth, bearing them down, and just biting the bullet, and then just doing it like I should be doing it, but it's not gonna happen with this What If. This What If, I had a Pokemon meets My Hero Academia What If before this, but I kind of canceled it and deleted all the videos and the playlist, and that's why the My Hero Eisen What If is there. It even says it in the description of the first part. It's supposed to make up for the fact that I deleted all that. But hey, now it's made a resurgence. I have come up with new ideas, and hey, maybe you'll like my ideas, maybe you won't. The first video was like the first time I ever saw anyone like my video. Yeah, the first time I remember anyone actually leaving a like. Yeah, one like, but hey, one like is better than no likes. To whoever you are who liked, you're a hero. Automatically, hero license, plus ultra that bitch. Anyways, let's get on to the show, shall we? Seeing as last time, Izuku and Plusle, his first ever Pokemon, his first Pokemon, had just now gotten out. They would be heading towards some sort of area where they could do something, productive. In like terms of Pokemon trainer. And actually, Izuku kind of does get that chance. He sees something rustling in the wild grass. He sees, actually, no, he hears something because it's rocketed up into the air. He's like, what's going on? He feels like a feather drop on his nose, and he sneezes. Chill. And then he looks, and right in front of him, flapping its wings in his face, and also in Plusle's face because Plusle decided that it wanted to ride on Izuku's shoulder. And Plusle is now like preparing an electric sneeze. And it kind of blows this Pokemon back, and like Izuku's like, "Oh yeah, that's right, that thing I got from Professor Gran Torino before I left his lab to go see my mom." Yeah, basically, I'm going to put it in a flashback scene where Professor Gran Torino gives Izuku basically what he gave Bakugo and what he also gave Shigaraki. He gave him, yeah, he had 3 Pokedexes this time. He gave him a Pokedex. And yes, it's going to have something of a. I'm going to do my best Dexter impression. Please don't hate me. Actually, no, I'm gonna try to narrate over that because I don't want to cross those bounds. I don't want to. I want to stay on the safe zone of no man's land here because I am not willing to open fire on the wrong side of no man's land. You know what I mean? Basically, Dexter tells him that this Pokemon, Chapo, come on, in South Park. This Pokemon is called Fletchling, and it basically tells him about the fact that it evolves into like a flying fire type, or is Fletchling already part fire? I don't freaking know. Dexter says something on the lines of that, and Izuku's like he kind of already knew that. He kind of already knew that Fletching could evolve like twice, and that its final stage was Talonflame, and Talonflame was like part fire, so you know that's what he has to look forward to if he catches this thing, because he still has 19 other Pokeballs. Because he was trying to find a way to weaken the others before he actually threw a Pokeball, but they all just escaped. So he really didn't use up any of the Pokeballs. He just, he tried and failed several times. And Izuku's just like, well then, Plusle, are you ready? And Plusle's like, Plusle Plus. That's what I like to hear. Let's do this. And I'm just gonna go ahead and say that the electric mouse would be probably like, regardless if Fletchling is in the air or not, like Plusle, lightning stroke like returns at like so fast. So I'm gonna consider plus if you saw that special with Pikachu and the two Pikachu, like Pichu's and the Houndour, you know that they're pretty freaking crafty. It was like the Pokemon equivalent of a Tom and Jerry cartoon. Can't even speak. A Tom and Jerry cartoon. Oh, by the way, I saw Tom and Jerry the movie with my dad and Amanda. My dad's friend Amanda. So, anyways, now that we're off of that tangent, I would say that plus it would be faster, and faster Pokemon, the more likely it is to move first. And so, Puzzle just dishes out some discharge, and normally, discharge electricity, like, it would, like, toast a flying type, but here's the funny thing. Moves can, like, either miss or Pokemon can avoid a move. And basically, Fletchling just uses Double Team, and then comes in with a round of Sand Attack. And you're like, Izuku's just like, what? And like sand is in Puzzle's eyes now. And then like Puzzle's trying to fire off some discharges all around because sand is in its eyes and that hurts like shit. It's just panicking. And some of the discharges are hitting Izuku. And Izuku's like, ow. Puzzle, calm your tits. And Puzzle's just freaking out. And, you know, like like Fletchling is just going for the kill and going for a peck attack. But that's whenever like the sand has gotten out of Puzzle's eyes. Puzzle's finally like chilled out. And Puzzle, wants to try something out. It's barreling straight towards it with a peck attack. What's a really close range move that it could do? I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna go up here and say it. Izuku sees it in the Pokedex. The Puzzle can use it. Puzzle, use Iron Tail! And then just, like, freaking Fletchling is just going straight at it. Basically what happened at, like, Elise's, whatever the frick her name was, with her tiny, whatever the frick the eel thing, and just made the whole cloud of smoke, and so it basically had to go straight towards Pikachu, and it just Iron Tailed it in the face all the way into the wall. That's basically what happens here, only there's no wall, so it just hits the ground. And but it's like still somewhat conscious, so like Izuku gets like the bright idea to like, oh yeah, that's right my back. And then he just throws a ball and he's like, click, do, 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 ding, do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. And Izuku's just like, yes, I caught a fletchling. I need refreshments. And so basically, we can add Fletchling to Izuku's list of Pokemon. He has both Plusle and Fletchling. And so this is also basically more initiative to get to Tiny Leaf Town as fast as possible. Because now Plusle's like roughed up, like really roughed up. And, he has an extremely roughed up freaking Fletchling in there. Like in his Pokeball. Fletchling not really having a choice but to stay in the Pokeball. And besides, Fletchling has respect for both, like, like, Fletchling has respect for Izuku because, Izuku was able to get, like, Plusle, his Pokemon, out of hot water, like, really fast by helping it take advantage of the situation. Yeah, that's showing that he has great leadership skills. And Fletchling also has respect for Puzzle because, Puzzle, you know, like it's kind of like respected between great warriors, great gladiators. Like they have respect for each other. Like they respect a strong warrior respects another strong warrior. It's that warrior respect. So like Fletchling is a wild Pokemon, and so whenever the wild Pokemon sees a trained Pokemon, and the trained Pokemon is strong enough to defeat it, you got that warrior respect that you got to bring out. Is basically what I'm saying here. Like Fletchling is like basically warrior respect. You got that warrior respect. And Fletchling is eventually going to, basically Fletchling is also one of Izuku's Pokemon, and is okay with that because of really reasons previously stated. The whole like Izuku's not a shitty leader. He's actually a pretty good leader because he got Puzzle out of hot water. Like as soon as Puzzle got all the sand out of its eyes and like got cooled down, like Izuku was able to get it to cool down really fast, able to get Puzzle to cool down really fast, get its shit together, and even counter like Fletchling's Peck with an even stronger move, Iron Tail, which Fletchling didn't even know that Puzzle had in its arsenal. So yeah, like Fletchling is kind of forced into respecting the both of them. And Fletchling really doesn't mind because it feels that that respect is, earned and deserved. So yeah, they all become good buddies. And so basically, after catching Fletchling, after catching Fletchling, his first ever caught Pokemon because Plusle just wanted to go with him because they were doing each other a solid. So it wasn't really a caught Pokemon. It wasn't really an earned catch. Well, at least in some eyes, in some prying eyes, it wasn't really an earned catch. But whole thing with Fletchling, that was an earned catch. Definitely an earned catch. In the eyes of probably many people, like if anybody was prying eyes around. And then eventually, you know, he actually gets he gets over and he finds something lying on the ground and he sees it's he actually finds a couple potions just straight across the ground. You know, yeah, in the games, whenever you find just random shit straight across the ground, and he also finds a couple different trees with berries in them, like all sorts of berries, and even some orange berries. And he's like, these orange berries and these things, potions, they'll go along really nice. I won't even have to get to Tiny Leaf Town to heal you guys up. And that's basically what he does. He's like, what would you guys like more? And basically, Fletchling and Plusle both agree that they would rather eat the orange berries. Because that's more of their thing. It's more of a wild Pokemon thing to eat berries than to get healed by potions. I mean, they wouldn't mind it if that was their only option, but they have more than one option. They can also get healed by eating orange berries. And so, yeah, I mean, Izuku wouldn't have to wait to get to Tiny Leaf Town to have his one of his, if not his biggest problem solved. His Pokemon being injured. Now he has two, and so he has to worry about that, but no longer, because, they're healed now. And he still has some berries and even potions left over because he didn't even use any of his potions. And so he's just like waiting until he gets to a Pokemart where they'll have all sorts of different things like burn heals, paralyze heals, ice heals, like he'll have freaking antidotes, which I think is does good for sleeping. like the sleep condition. And so Izuku's just thinking about it, and he's also like, what if he comes across a tree or trees that have berries that also help with that? Like he wouldn't mind. He's just like, whatever gets the job done better, whatever helps the most. And so, his Pokemon are pretty much back up to stat. And I'm gonna say that in this PowerPoint or PP, it really isn't a thing because our basically I'm gonna say that in this that they really aren't a thing because that would kind of hinder my ability to be flexible, or at least I think it would. It would kind of hinder my ability to my flexibility. At least I think it would. It's like in my mind it would. So basically, as Izuku is getting closer and closer, he's beginning to see a building in the distance. But before he can get to the building, he sees someone. And he's like, that kid, he has half white hair, half red hair, and it looks like he has a scar. Like a burn mark scar thing. Like, at first it looked like a scar, but whenever he got closer, he actually figured out it was more of a burn mark. And Izuku's like, who is that kid? Better not spark up too much conversation. It could be a personal thing. And then, like, whenever this person, like, Izuku gets in his line of sight, the whole rule of Pokemon. Like, you get in a trainer's line of sight and you have to battle them. It's a rule of thumb in Pokemon. And so, basically, Shoto's like, hey, you're interesting. What's your. Actually, where's my manners? My name's Shoto Todoroki. I would like to know your name. After all, I do plan on battling you before you enter Tinely Forest. Yes, I'm going to do the whole Viridian Forest thing. Like, before you actually get into the area, you have to go through, like, a forest area. So he's like, before you enter Tinely Forest, I want to battle you, see how strong you really are. And, Izuku's just like, well, I mean, I have two Pokemon. It can't be that bad. I saw Fletchling's moves whenever Plusle was fighting Fletchling. So, well then, if I remember correctly, hmm, Peck, Sand Attack, what else? No time for that. This guy wants to battle me. And, just like it just goes into like a whole thing like and he just says, I am Shoto Todoroki, and I wish to battle you. And Izuku's like, I'm Izuku Midoriya, and I accept your challenge. And it's just like right outside of the building, so like the people inside of the building can hear this, and it's like, oh, that's just that's just a shame. I mean, we all know this kid is talented. I mean, no one who's like actually challenged him has actually been able to beat him. His Pokemon are very strong. This kid is just gonna be another victim of his power. And they're talking about Todoroki, how strong he is. Like the people in the building, they're looking through the window, they're just like talking about how strong Todoroki is, hyping him up. And they have no idea about Izuku's catches, Izuku's power. So it's just like Todoroki is like, please, you go first. And Izuku's like, okay then. Yo, Fletchling! He just sends out Fletchling, and Plusle's like, what? It's like, why? Like, Nani? Like, Bustle is literally like, Nani face? Like, why even? Why? Just like, why? Bustle is really confused right now. And, like, Todoroki is just looking at this dude like, what is your problem? Why are you sending that out to fight me? And he's just like, never mind that. I'll just have to end you permanently. Go, auxiliary! And, Izuku's like, auxiliary? You have an auxiliary? That's interesting. And Shoto's just like, hmm, well, I guess here we go. And it actually turns out that Fletchling is faster than auxiliary. The Fletchling that Izuku caught is actually one of those rare cases where it's really fast. Like, extremely fast, even for Fletchlings. And so Fletchling is actually able to move before auxiliary is able to move. And so Fletchling, like, Izuku's just like, Fletchling, sand attack! And, like, Shoto's about to move, but since Fletchling's really fast, it gets out the sand attack before auxiliary is able to dodge. And so auxiliary just has sand in its eyes. And, like, like, freaking Shoto is just pissed. Like, this has never happened before. I've never been, like, duped before. And, auxiliary, he's just telling auxiliary, auxiliary, use Ice Beam. And basically, that's why I had, Shoto have auxiliary. Like, it's an odd pick, I know, but, like, auxiliary can use, like, a lot of the beam attacks, and, like, one of the beam attacks is Ice Beam, and Shoto has his ice side, so why not? He's like, auxiliary, use Ice Beam. And auxiliary just shoots out an Ice Beam. Then, Izuku's just like, well, wait a second. If Fletchling is a flying type, then, that's great. Fletchling, use Gust! And basically it just uses Gust and blasts auxiliary with its own Ice Beam. And auxiliary is frozen. It actually has the status of frozen. And, like, Shoto doesn't have that many items in his bag because he's never really been, like, challenged all that much before. He's never really had that much of a strong opponent. So he's just really cornered into a wall, and he's just like, no, this can't be happening. This can't be happening to me. Just like, this isn't right. And, Izuku's just like, well, I guess that's just what happens to people who are overconfident, isn't it, Fleshling? And since you're frozen solid, that just means we get a free turn. Fletchling, use Peck! And, like, Fletchling just breaks through the ice and hits Auxiliary head on. And Auxiliary just faints from, like, not only, like, being frozen cold, but, like, just getting hit right after the ice breaks. That's gotta hurt. Like, that's gotta hurt like hell. And, Shoto's just like, auxiliary return. I've never actually had to use more than one Pokemon. Well, in trainer battles at least. However, whenever it comes to wild battles, this Pokemon has a lot of experience. And, like, Izuku's like, well, I guess that just means you won't be very good with this one. I mean, if it only has experience in wild battles, what do you think it's going to do in a trainer battle? A battle trainer versus trainer. trained Pokemon versus trained Pokemon. And Shoto is just like, you know nothing about the actual potential this Pokemon holds. Go, Slugma! Because of Shoto's fire side. He doesn't really like using Slugma, so that's why he always sends out Auxiliary first. Because, Shoto in My Hero Academia, he really didn't like using his fire side. And so Slugma would just be like, Slugma. And, Talonflame would just, yeah, I remember the other attack. Now I remember. Izuku would just, say, Fletchling, use Double Team. And, Slugma would be looking all over the place, trying to figure out which one was the real one. And Slugma, like Shoto would just be like, Slugma, use Ember. And just, Slugma would just shoot out a bunch of embers, but it would miss the real one. And then Izuku would just be like, Fletchling, use Peck. And it would just hit, with Peck, but something would go wrong, very wrong. Huh, your Pokemon fell prey to my Pokemon's ability. Flame Body. And Fletchling would just, all of a sudden have the burn status. Like Dexter would inform Izuku of that. And, Izuku would be like, so, that's Flame Body in action. Fletchling, return! And, Shoto would be confused by this. Fletchling wasn't that damaged. But, Izuku would just be like, maybe not now, but if that battle had lasted a little bit longer, there could have been some serious ramifications. Are you not aware of that, Shoto? And Shoto's just like, are you trying to insult my trainer skills? And Izuku's like, no, I'm just stating the facts. I studied a lot about Pokemon, so I know the consequences of leaving Fletchling out there a little bit too longer. A lot longer than it's supposed to be. So, Puzzle, go out there and show them what a real Pokemon trainer battle is like. Battling between two Pokemon trainers is like. And Puzzle's like, Puzzle Plus, finally, Jesus. Puzzle was actually concerned for Fletchling, like, just for that, holy shit, got hit by an ability, and it was Flame Body to boot. And so, Izuku, knows to keep at a distance now. And you know what's really good at keeping at a distance? The move Discharge. And, if the last part taught us anything about Puzzle's moveset, it knows Discharge. And so, whenever, basically Shoto surprises Izuku, Slugma, Flame, no wait. What's that move again? What's that move? I think there's a move called Flame Charge? Or is it Fire Charge or Flame Charge? Anyways, he tells Slugma to use that. And so Slugma's just rocketing towards Puzzle. And he's like, Puzzle, use... And he's like, Puzzle, jump up in the air. And basically, since Slugma's a slug, it has to stay attached to the ground. And so it just misses. And, whenever Puzzle hits the ground, it's behind Slugma. And so Izuku gets a free chance to do this. Basically, he's like, Puzzle! Before Slug was able to turn around, discharge! And then it's like, Puzzle! And, Shoto, if Slugma's not even able to turn around, it's not going to be able to dodge, so Slugma just gets booted like by that freaking discharge. It's not super effective or anything, but it still hurts, like, a lot. And, it's just like Slugma and Plusle are like going against each other. And, Shoto's like, this is really getting on my nerves. Slugma. Flame charge again. And Plusle just goes to jump up again. And then it's like, Shoto's like, cancel flame charge and use Ember. And like freaking Plusle just gets hit with the Ember. And it's like, and Izuku's just like, damn it. How could I not see that he would do that? You're real quick, Shoto. However, that little trick of yours landed your Slugma really close to my Plusle. And Shoto's like, why does that matter? Exactly. Because with the state your Slugma's in, one last move, and it's down. And even if it is a contact move, that won't matter because, like I said, it will be down. And Shoto's like you would actually be fast enough. And, he's just like, well, then try me. And, Shoto's just like, well then, again, flame charge! And just goes straight towards Plusle. And he's like, certain people never learn. Like, Izuku's like, certain people never learn. And he's like, like Izuku's just like, Plusle, Iron Tail! And Iron Tail just breaks through Flame Charge and smacks Slugma straight into Shoto. And Shoto's like, ow, 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 ow. Slugma, get off of me. Slugma, return. And Shoto's just like, you surely were right. Maybe I am truly overconfident. And he just, like, shows his hand, and, like, Izuku's like, oh. So even though you're overconfident, doesn't mean that you can't show respect. And, Izuku shows him his hand, and, they shake hands. And Shoto's like, if you don't mind. And, he just, like, with the few items he does have, he heals Izuku's Pokemon, both Plusle and whenever Izuku, like, lets Fletchling out, he even heals Fletchling of the burn status because he had a burn heal. And he even heals, like, Plusle of the burn status because Plusle, Iron Tail is a physical attack, so, they would both have the burn status. Yeah. So, yeah. Both, like, Plusle and, like, Fletchling would bow out of respect, and Shoto would be like, what the hell? And Izuku would be bowing too, and he'd just be like, it's only a it would only be a right thing to do, even if I did beat you, to bow out of respect. After all, that was a truly good battle, even if you were a little bit of a overconfident trainer. You shouldn't let your confidence overtake you, or else it could destroy you in the future. However, that doesn't mean you can't be confident at all about your abilities. Just don't let it consume you. Try to mellow your confidence out with some, you know, technique of discipline. And basically, Shoto was just showed right there, like, Izuku's a trainer who was able to mellow his confidence out with discipline. And Shoto's like, if this guy can do it, I should sure as hell should be able to do it. Though, I guess I should bow to you in respect. After all, you did beat me. Uh, if there is one thing I could ask of you, a favor. And Izuku's like, well, shoot. He basically, Shoto's like, I would like to go along with you. I've been very lonely, and it's been hard to balance myself out. My feelings towards my father, and everything with him, and my mother, and myself, and I even once had a sibling. However, they're dead now. All of that was weighing on me so hard I tried to become strong enough so that nothing like that would ever faze me again. That I'd be able to shake off any sort of punishment that this world could give me. I wanted to be strong so that I wouldn't cave like someone I would presume to be a weak trainer. I wanted to be strong so that I wouldn't lose myself in the madness of this world. And Izuku's like, well, you don't have to be so headstrong in order to keep yourself over hot waters. After all, you just saw an example of someone who's able to do just that. Me. I mean, I'm not so overbearingly headstrong, and I could keep myself over hot waters just fine. And, like, Shoto's just like, instead of, like, taking this as an insult, he, like, takes this as, like, Izuku's actually teaching him that he doesn't have to be so overbearingly headstrong and, like, loner, like, just cold to everyone around him. And, he can be perfectly fine. Izuku has showed him basically that he doesn't have to make all of these walls. He doesn't have to be so just like he doesn't have to hide himself from people. He doesn't have to close himself off from the outside world. He can be happy just being himself. And so he actually lets his Pokemon out. He his auxiliary and his Slugma, and he's like, you two, I'm sorry for the way that I've been treating you. I've even been being cold to my Pokemon. From now on, I am going to work to change. Become a better Pokemon trainer than the past me could ever be, alongside Izuku, if you don't mind. And Auxiliary and Slugma, don't mind at all. They actually like Izuku and his Pokemon. Like, you know, Pokemon, the Pokemon like each other, and the trainer, Shoto finds Izuku to be a great Pokemon trainer. I mean, he was able to kick his ass. If that doesn't say anything, he was able to kick so many people's asses, and then Izuku comes over here and kicks his ass. And, he's even, trying to teach him a lesson about, he doesn't have to be so cold to the world. He doesn't have to be so wall putty uppy to the world. He can be himself and be happy. Hard times are going to come up ahead, but that doesn't mean you can't rise up to the challenge. And, come, you know, out of it being a stronger person than you were before. You know, he's just building up Shoto's confidence in a actual healthy way. And Shoto is like, If my mom ever met you, she would probably really like you. If she ever got the chance to meet you, that is. And Izuku's just like, thanks, buddy. And Shoto's just like, you could just call me Shoto. And Izuku's like, okay, Shoto. And so basically, that's just another adventure and Izuku's, path towards Tiny Leaf Forest. His next stop on his way to Tiny Leaf Town, where the gym leader Kamui Woods will be. Tiny Leaf Forest being his next and final stop to where, Tiny Leaf Town is and where Kamui Woods will be waiting for Challenger. And so I guess that's where I'm going to end off part two. The analysis because the Dark Shaman Rick is OUT out of here. Yeah, boys. Bye.